Hello, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here. And how do you like the Lady Luck? Or maybe Lucky Lady. Couldn't quite match that up. This is sort of the awesome PT boat here, fast maneuvering. The rockets, I haven't found that useful yet, but that's these guys here. But the torpedoes, oh man, they're great ship killers, and the guns are pretty good at light craft. Now, why am I making this video? Well, I didn't like and I don't like all that big truck driving by right now either. Didn't like my sort of announcement video for Team Gamer, which is the War Thunder multiplayer squad that you can join. Find out more Saturday on that other streaming service. I don't want YouTube, Google to scrub through this and decide that it doesn't like this, but Saturday morning's my time here in California. I'll be live. We can talk about it. We'll be playing some Kaiserreich as well as some War Thunder. So stop by, say hi, even just to do that, and follow me over on that other service. Now, also part of the reason I'm making this and looking at the boat here, let's jump over to this guy here. This is the Regal Seagull. It's basically the same boat that's just slightly faster but doesn't have the rockets. I don't know why they felt they needed to make two as opposed to just simply allowing this to upgrade to rockets. But yeah, I made a new video for Aggressors Ancient Rome series, beginning really nice video that I did some research, so I got some of my historical facts and had the stuff up on the screen and talked about it with for the first maybe half of the video, but you could see by the intro screen being there, and I told at the beginning you could just jump past that if you just want to see the gameplay. So it had gameplay and me talking about the Ptolemaic Empire, and it was set to release and released at 6 a.m. and I could go in and see it in my uploads, but it just had the sort of gray TV screen or something for something not right with it. Didn't show up in my other sort of feed areas of my channel page, and had zero views about 5-6 hours later when I woke up and started to look at it. And I could click on it and watch the video. I'm not sure if anybody else could. And it did show my one viewing of it. And so I think it wasn't demonetized, which is sort of weird. I think it was put on some sort of massive restricted list. Because I used, we'll call it the I word briefly. Didn't talk much about it, but did mention the I word. I'm talking about some of the family relationships on the Ptolemaic dynasty. You may know what that is. I won't go there because I don't want to have that happen here, because I want you to see this and know what's going on for my channel. So I'm going to have to and it was a really good video, I thought. I'm going to have to remake the whole thing, because I'm just not that good of an editor, and by the time I get editing software up and figure out how to do this stuff properly, to take something out of the middle of it, even if it's just a few minutes of it, and then also, because once you do that, then you have to have the computer sit there and process it and that kind of thing. So it'll just be probably quicker just to make a new video that hopefully will be as good and nice. We can look at the Fletcher here. I think, and this is the early version of the Fletcher, but I think the Fletcher is the best destroyer of World War II. And yet, yes, I know that there are post World War II, post Fletcher, you know, sort of improved versions that were enough, I guess, and they might be better, but for being also the largest production number of, you know, destroyers for America during World War II. And so, yeah, I'm not saying in some detailed technical sense the better, but and no, it does get much more guns than this. We can see that. We'll go to research. We'll preview this. I've yet to want to spend the $50 to get this. I would love to have this, but $50 seems a bit much just for a ship. They've already given me the access to the beta. You can see the 3 additional 20 millimeters here, and they've added 2 dual 40 millimeters here, and they've upgunned the 20 millimeters to dual 40 millimeters there. And there were some other things that they did to sort of improve some of this, but this isn't the latest or the last and whatnot. But and so it's not, and so in this category, you know, it is very good. And it's not just how many guns or how many torpedoes is on a ship is how good it is. This is in the American flush deck tradition, where you'll see someone like the German and the Royal Navy will do a raised foredeck here at about this height for what I'll call the Atlantic model. With the Atlantic has much rougher waves. Most of the Fletchers served in, and the great majority of them served in the Pacific. But the Americans, even other types, were flush deck. And they can do quite well in the Atlantic, but because of the tendency for higher waves, they like to make the bow a bit higher. But you can see this is handled partially by excuse me, man. Okay, I think that's better. You know, in rough weather, people aren't really up here, but in extreme sort of need, and obviously they're, you know, encased in the gun mountings, and so you have the forward open guns are that up one deck, and they do this here as very much as a wave. Man, my throat right now. Take another drink. Very much as a wave shield to, you know, water splashing up here and running and, you know, coming off here. So this is much more where the crew will be out on this. I think the mess deck is right in here. It's in one of these spots where the heads are back here, if I'm not mistaken, and such. Where the berthing is, officers mostly up here. Right through here will be the engines. Well, we can see here where the engines are. So the officer berthings are right in this sort of spot. Yeah, let's see if we can zoom out here. There will be maybe a few of the standard crew berthing there, and much of the rest of the crew berthing is back through here. But from right about, I don't know, these seem maybe a bit high for me, but from some of the stuff I've seen, from right about here through here is just pure engine space. So when we go back to this, we can see, you know, from right below there. So from here to here is all engine and fuel tank. So yes, people do climb and move around the engines, but there is basically no berthing, no crew, you know, space to do things in, like eat food or cook food, or but like I say, the the galley. Did I say the mess deck? Where they would often mess down in here, so you'd actually carry the food. Either I think they mostly lined up out here, because I've seen some film lining up to getting the food like on a tray, and then having to go back down to where they down here. So they're moving around in fairly rough weather on this part of the deck, kind of thing. Yeah. So like I said, Saturday show. Would like to see you there, and close. And I'm going to have to redo my Rome Aggressors. I'm going to do a Ptolemaic playthrough on that when I go through the opening moves. And I got no notification on. I ended up deleting the video from YouTube. It'll be a lost episode. And that's the only thing I can think of why it might have been in that weird sort of status, but it didn't give me any notification of any restrictions. And previously, when I had uploaded it and it had processed it and everything, it seemed like it was going to be ready, but I think after processing, because they YouTube Scrubs goes through all of these videos audio, and so if it hears something it doesn't like, it will then react to things. That is how I think a lot of stuff has been demonetized, because I'll put it up there and it may sit up there for 3 or 4 days or something before I'm getting ready to release it. And a day or two into the sitting it up there, or I'll release it, or I'll put it up there and release it like immediately. I'll do that too. And then a day or two later, it'll come back and go say, you're demonetized. You know, it doesn't mean 0 commercials, but it means very few commercials. And then also, you know, and if you think, oh, gamers just complaining about money, you know, and whatnot, no, it's not about that. Because what happens, and I did see there's Creators Insider, a YouTube channel about YouTube. I mean, it's put on by YouTube, and they were going on about something just very recently about how, no, we don't know if you don't monetize your videos. We don't know that on discoverability. You know, how much do they put it out for new people to see the video? You know, so you don't have to monetize your videos. Well, some woman who does a tech channel put out a video, and she looked at her stats, very, very detailed, and how at some point, basically, no new people were seeing her. It's like 5% of what it had been of new people seeing her video content for all videos, not just a particular one, for all videos. And it's just purely a tech thing, no controversial subjects at all. You know, I don't even know what her politics is. Probably left. But so no, we don't want to get too close to those. Don't like this map because they don't have good torps going after them, because they're behind all those rocks. So they're going to be mostly gun. Well, I don't like it from this side. If I can come from the other side, then get out into the blue water out here and take on what is my team this time. But how she showed her discoverability and her viewership had in actual numbers had increased from her subscriber base, and that's so people who know about her. And she does not monetize any of her videos. Entirely, I think, Patreon supported. She just doesn't monetize her videos. So basically it's proof against what they were saying, Now, is the person lying on YouTube? Maybe. Or maybe he just, this is how he understands it, because that's his job on discoverability, but somebody else has some other switch. Has some other switch to do something else. So when they demonetize a video of mine, and I just died. Wow, that didn't go too well. That was pretty bad, pretty fast. That looks like a very modern thing. And I really, really just want to play World War II against World War II vessels. That's what I really, really want to do, is just play World War II against World War II vessels. Not play anything else. Not that other things aren't good. I think other things can be really cool, but if I'm going to spend my time, I want to do World War II. But so she shows clearly in her video, she was actually surprised in her comments that started to trend her complaining video, which, because I don't know whether it's YouTube likes videos that complain about YouTube, but people like videos because we all know that. And so I'm not even saying that this is a political thing, because again, I don't think she is at all even remotely political. Purely a lack of monetization. So when the video gets demonetized for me, I think they don't want, it's not just that, oh, they can't show commercials on it. I think that's part of it, but I also think that it's still, they're going, oh, well, this is stuff we don't really think, because we think it should be demonetized, we don't think people should see. So I think they are making my videos harder to discover. I see them over there, and I'm sort of hoping he's launching his torpedoes at me right now. If I understand, yeah, the guy that I'm shooting at, those two over there, I can't, or they can't launch torpedoes at me, so I'm not worried about that. But this guy, I've been going steady, steady, steady on purpose. Gotta click a bunch of times to get them to change. I used to just try to hold down over the, the target. Oh, we got a kill assist out of that. Now there we go. Get over on target. Oh, mission accomplished. That went fast. A little too fast. I've sort of talked about the speed on this. And so, my biggest thing is I want to grow. And yeah, just had another person today saying, why didn't this show up in my subscription feed, or something about the Kaiser Reich series that's recently announced. And, why is somebody who subscribes to my channel doesn't see the first episode, which is getting actually very good numbers, at least for my channel. And I don't know whether he just finally checked my channel page. Again, you should all check my channel page daily for the new content, because there I do get much more control. But like I say, that the video that was sort of ghosted away was only in the uploads, but not in the what to watch next section, and not in the recent activities section. But they do have the most control there, so you should check there. But I think finally by the third big blue Kaiser Reich thing, he somehow found it and goes, hey, this is something I really want to watch. And I would think YouTube would show stuff to people who, that they really want to watch. And Kaiser Reich particularly, well, maybe some of the stuff we're talking about during the live stream chat might get sort of political, but really it's such a fantasy world that it's not something that I think YouTube particularly wants to suppress. This is why I do think that there are, well, no, I don't think, I know there are, no matter what they say about this, and again they were saying, oh, well, if you get even a confirmed not suitable for most advertisers, does it affect your other videos? Oh no, it doesn't, the guy says, blah 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 blah. Well, I know that now it's gotten much, much better for me. I still get a small percentage of stuff demonetized. That mostly comes back to monetization. I would say 99% of my videos are properly monetized now. For a while, it was 99% of my videos get demonetized, and then, although I never get a manual confirmation, they'd become remonetized after my appeal. So I don't know whether it was a person that really looked at it or just sort of on the honor system, since I said that it was good. About 3 or 4 days later, it would come back as, back to monetization. But I know it because my channel got tagged because when I made a friendly Christmas message that was purely about, Christmas cheer or whatever you want to say, goodwill to, to men on earth or whatever type video, that it gets demonetized. So yeah, so it had no title like War Thunder, so it couldn't even for the bot to go, oh, this is war, or I think now one of the videos that are currently going through the demonetization, every single episode is going through the demonetization, is my Panzer Corps videos. I think the computer is seeing the game title and everything in there as being corpse. Panzer Corpse. Corpses are bad things. Corpses should be demonetized. I hope this doesn't get demonetized by that. And so it sees that in the title, in the description. And then even though, as you may now seeing, they've changed the YouTube setup for YouTube gaming, and I do get to specify what game this is, and they can know because they, it corresponds to a list on their stuff. And so they could even have on their list, games suitable for monetization, which some of the episodes get demonetized from Gary Grigsby's War in the East. Yeah, all that counter violence, going counter moving around somehow gets demonetized. But they should really sort of go, yeah, anything involved with this game is suitable, unless maybe I'm saying like that, and please don't type it out if you think you know what the I word was, or something like that, that if you're saying something that is contrary specifically in the video, but otherwise the gameplay, no matter what it should be. And then I can see some other games that are extremely violent and extremely gory, that just because you specify that, it should be on the, restricted / demonetized list. And those are two different things. This is why I think one of mine may have been on some sort of restricted thing, because it didn't seem to be demonetized. Really strange. But so I know that Google YouTube, because remember, Google owns YouTube, there is a lot of cross-pollination on the platform between them. And so, as said, Google controls access to all human knowledge right now, or the primary controller of it. So, and again, I don't think that there's somebody sitting at some desk that has paid enough attention to Gamer and, we've got to suppress him. No, I just think it's Google it's just the algorithm, as if the algorithm is some sort of neutral arbiter. No, it is programmed by humans. So I think that I've was on a list, though, like I say, I'm no longer being automatically demonetized for everything, because it was literally almost everything was automatically demonetized, to now an occasional demonetization because of algorithms seeing things and maybe misinterpreting them, but they could easily have. And so, if we, let's just say there's a game with lots of nudity in it. And again, I worry about saying these words. And this is the insidious thing. I'm worrying about saying words. Should I be worried about saying words when I'm not advocating anything, just talking about it? But let's just say that there's a lot of, that in the, notice I didn't say it, a lot of that in the game. not just a brief something, and not just, you know, the funky animation that's, you know, just sort of pixelated, you know, stupid simple pixelation, but very realistic. Yeah, you know, I would agree that you can have I've never played, but I've seen some footage of Grand Theft Auto, and I know a bunch of you have probably played it and enjoyed it. To me, that is a very, shall we say, antisocial, not just as in I've often been, you know, accused of being antisocial and that I don't want to go out and be social with lots of people, but in an anti-social of you know, causing mayhem and death in an otherwise stable or more or less stable society. So, you know, I can see that a game should just be demonetized because it's that game, or should maybe be on a restricted list just because it's that game. I, of course, do also think that you have the right to have the games, you have the right to play the games, and you have the right, I would say, more or less, I guess you can go too extreme, it's something at too much in one way or another, but going to some way on it, should still have the right to be on YouTube, and YouTube to put it on a restricted list. Perfectly right, because, you know, not even, because there's also kid YouTube, because YouTube is technically for, I think it's like 14 and over, but you know, just because even if you're talking to adults, you don't necessarily want to, oh, what's this? Click. I don't want to see that. And so put it on a restricted list. All good with that. But I think there's a political thing, and of course, if you think this is just YouTube and Google, Twitter locked James Woods, the actor and now social commentator, out of his Twitter account today. Yeah, that's not a good move. And he is political, and he is on the conservative side of things, on modern politics, one of the few Hollywood. I would say James Wood is a big-time actor. I mean, he's basically more or less enforced retirement because he is a conservative. I think if someone were to go, hey, here's Hangover 5 or whatever, and we've got either a cameo bit. Cameo bits are easy for Hollywood people to do because it just takes a few days, and even if it's a sucky movie, it doesn't normally ruin your reputation. Or a leading, you know, notice I'm saying Hangover 5 because it's probably pretty bad. The first one was very good. The second one was okay. The third sucked. But Hangover 5, if there's, I don't know if there's a 4 or whatever, but if it's coming, you know, doing it, and even a big role in it, I think you'd probably take it up, you know. But nobody's offering James Woods roles right now, to the best of my knowledge. And then you go, oh, but he was offered in some Christian film a small, yeah, okay. Yeah. So, and not that he needs the money or anything like that. But one of the few is John Voight, who's very much a social conservative, who still gets roles, big roles, and that's, I don't know if it's due to his daughter or whatever. And bonus points if you can name who his very famous movie star daughter is. But yeah, John Voight is who I'm talking about. Midnight Cowboy, of the fame of that. But yeah, so this wasn't, well, it was meant to talk about the Aggressors Rome video not showing up, and that I didn't release because I didn't like the audio of it, of my Team Gamer announcement video for that we're going to be playing this Saturday, and love to have you join us either, and you can join us playing or just join us watching, because now I have a premium account here. I decided to, and I had one briefly before, but because to be able to host, and I was thinking, yeah, Brett seems like a great guy. First stream with us last Saturday, and he had a War Thunder premium account, and 4 of us got on there, including him, and of course, and it was really fun, and I really want to make more of those videos. Yes, this may be just me rambling now, but wanted to make more, so I thought, yeah, it's worth it to get in a premium account to be able to do the larger squads. So we're going to be doing that. Because I just thought, well, what if he doesn't show up or has to leave, or everybody else will be disappointed. So yeah, so I just went ahead and got it. It's not that expensive, but one, we can go, I'm a poor YouTuber, and that's very true. And two, I sort of kind of feel maybe it's just YouTuber privilege, and which I don't believe in white privilege, but oh, but you're more privileged. Yeah, I may be more privileged than my neighbor, but is that because of skin color, or just because, you know, if I grew up, say, with a parent that had a better job than my neighbor literally next door, whatever skin color they may be, didn't have as good a job, you know, so they didn't make as much money. And, you know, because I remember a few of my good friends growing up young, you know, had and in my age, that was fairly rare, had a single parent. And it took me, you know, I was fairly young, it took me a little while to realize, oh, well, they just not, you know, they just don't, because, you know, when you're really young, you don't necessarily notice, you know, money and how much different, but, oh yeah, okay, you know, not that, because I'm thinking of one friend way back when, and he had plenty of toys and, you know, to play with, and some of the neat stuff I wanted to go play with. I remember as a kid. But yeah, small apartment lived in, where I lived in a, you know, multi-bedroom house and things like that. And I realized, okay, yeah, it's just his mom, and okay, so yeah, his family wasn't as well off. I mean, it wasn't, I don't think we would call poor, but wasn't as well off as mine. So sure, some people grow up with richer parents and so have more privilege. But yeah, YouTuber privilege in that, should I get games for free? And I buy most of the games I play here, though, like Rome Aggressors was given to me by Slytherin, and I am part of the lowest level of the War Thunder Partner program, but that doesn't get me into a premium account. But should I pay for things that then I promote by playing them on YouTube? It's not whether I should have all my games free. That I don't think, or anything such as that. But since I'm actively promoting somebody's game, and yeah, right now we're a small audience, a lot of these just get 50, 60 views, but of course they could blow up big anytime, and the bigger series will get a few hundred views per episode, and still, you know, that is small. And I'm sure if you're PewDiePie or somebody that, oh yeah, you know, any game company, you know, he probably has his inbox full of Steam codes, you know, please play my game, because if he plays your game and even says something halfway positive about it, it makes the game. You know, might not be the biggest game out there, but it, you know, even if it's some little thing, it probably doubles its sales. But still, you know, I just sort of have that bit of a moral objection that I should be paying. I should be paying to promote somebody else's stuff. Yes, I know it also benefits me. That's sort of the partnership idea of it. But yeah, okay, is this rambling enough? I guess. So if you haven't already and you made it this far, you better subscribe to the channel. You can even like this episode if you want of Gamer Rambling. And see you tomorrow as of recording this Saturday, or any other Saturday, for our live stream on that other streaming service. And please post comments if you like. See you next time for more, well, since this isn't Hearts of Iron, we'll say historical gaming.